Are you confused and frustrated why your diet isn't helping with your IBS, Crohn's, or colitis symptoms? My name is Mike the Heal Your Gut Guy. I used to have a very bad case of Crohn's and colitis, but now I eat whatever I want and I don't have symptoms, and I help many other people do this with my 13-day protocol. So one person I was working with, he was like a very high-end businessman, and he was on a super strict carnivore diet. All he could have was meat and I think just salt on his steak, and he couldn't even cook the steak in butter. And water. Very boring. Like, my taste buds are crying right now just thinking about it. And he said the other day he was out, at a business meeting or a conference, and he was drinking a beer, and people were coming up to him like, "Oh my God, like, what are you doing? I thought you couldn't eat that stuff." And he's like, "Dude, I can eat whatever I want now." And that was just within the first few days of starting my program. Now, for a long time, I thought I had to heal my Crohn's and colitis by being on a very strict diet. I thought it was caused by bad foods. But then one day, one of my friends came up to me, and he was kind of like giving me a hard time. He goes, "Mike, why do I eat nothing but trash, and I could kick your butt 5 times over? Like, you never have a shot against me, and all you do is obsess about diet. I'm stronger than you, more resilient than you, have more energy than you. Something's not adding up, man." And, that really, ticked off something in my brain. I was like, man, you know what? He's right. Like, what am I missing here? And the book that best explains this is a book called The Human Colon. I think it was written in the 1950s. It's out of print, very hard to get your hands on. And they were studying people with colitis where it was so bad their intestines were hanging out of them. Yeah, it's like, if we don't get this stuff under control, things can go south very fast. So they could see their intestines, so they could do some pretty cool experiments. And the one experiment that they did that really shows us the most is they would do an interview with them. And as they brought up topics that made the person angry, their intestines would turn bright red, and then the intestinal muscles would start to move really fast, and then they would start to get diarrhea and have a lot of gut pain. If they talked about something, and no food's involved here, this is just talking to the person. Then if they talked about something that made them sad and depressed, their intestines the muscles would start to move slower, and then it would start to lose color, so start to turn pale, and they would become constipated. The majority of our symptoms are related to a conflict. And you know what? Diets make food a conflict, which is not good, because food is the very thing that keeps us alive. You ate crap your whole entire life. Why is your gut deciding to shut down and have symptoms now? It doesn't make sense. Competitive eaters are eating insane amounts of food, and they don't have it literally doesn't make sense to blame our diets. It is good to eat healthy foods, but we have to understand it's caused by a stressful situation, and the PTSD reminders of that stressful situation are putting our gut in and out of overdrive. In my program, that is where I show people how to get over these PTSD triggers so that we're not having diarrhea or we're constipated all the time, so that you can go out and live a normal life. You can go to a 4th of July party and have a hot dog and a hamburger. You can go on a date and have a glass of wine or beer with, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, whoever. It is very hard to have a social life when you can't enjoy, I'm in Spain right now, which I wouldn't have been able to do, when I was on a strict diet. Everything's gluten here. But if you go to somebody's house and you reject the food that they give you, they don't like you. It's an insult to them. And it's like that in most places around the world. I want you guys to live a normal life where you can enjoy food, gluten, dairy, dessert, whatever it is, whatever's your fancy, you can do that. But we have to address the root cause.